Hello everyone.
Hey Hardeep,
Hey Parthiv.
क्या हाल है?
बहुत बढ़िया है. Thank you.
Okay, we are waiting for Riju to get his mic sorted.
Trying to go live, just it's taking time.
We could hear you, but it's breaking up.
Yeah. Seems like you're calling from Mars.
Yeah. What does the future look like?
Yeah. ये तो अभी बोलना नहीं चाहिए, बट ये कहते हैं हम मर के भी रोबोट्स में जिंदा रहेंगे. उसकी तैयारी चल रही है.
We are on.
सत्या. Hey Satya.
All right. So I think So while Viju joins, I think we can get started. Avi is also unable to join because of the thunderstorm today, Farmington. So yeah, probably he'll probably catch up during the show. Today we have since last week was a complete washout. We didn't have any games last week, so we haven't got a chance to do any analysis. But what we're going to start off with is a simple question. I think what we're going to do while we get our panel up, we're going to throw out a question. We have had, and Ranjit is part of the committee, and I think that doesn't help because he already has an opinion. But wanted to throw out this topic about the washed out games and rescheduling it, and what's the best option. So obviously, what we've seen is there are two ways of going by it. One is you basically embrace the luck factor, which happens in all tournaments. You have washed out games, teams split points, and you carry on. And then there's the other opinion where you want cricket to be played, so you want teams to play cricket, and you want them to give flexibility to schedule the games, play the games, and get a result. So I want to throw it out to you guys, both Hardeep, Ranjit. What do you guys think about it, and what's your opinion?
Who's going first? Is it
me?
You
go first, Hardeep.
My opinion is also there, considering the love we have for DCL, and if let's take Glad for example. Everyone will look up for games like Glad versus Pokiris, Glad versus GLCC, Glad versus Thunders, for take example. So if something like that has caused a match is cancelled because of rain, that's something that will be a hard one for almost a year and a half. Then we have to wait if we ever get a chance to see each other, maybe in playoffs or later. So me as a cricket lover and DCL lover, I would say that we should request committee to come up with some type of another way to have this game happen. And another option that I can throw is, if any teams wants to play the game and kind of schedule it by themselves, it's just cost whatever $100 each team, and they can schedule it by themselves, and if committee approves that style as well. I'm not sure what types of roadblocks are there in these scenarios, but that's another option where if committee allows both the team captains to schedule their game, if not on Saturday, maybe on weekday, if they both agree, they can schedule their game, and the result will be there at cricket clubs or at DCL website anyway. So it's nothing that we have to communicate it over WhatsApp or on a paper. So maybe that's another option to look out. Canceling the game is the easiest option. I mean, it's happening everywhere else in leather ball games, and the only reason why the games is cancelled in leather ball because of the ground availability. We don't have leather ball grounds, but with the T-ball, with DCL, we have some level of restriction, but there are so many places where we can kind of rent a facility for 4 hours, 5 hours, and any time of the day when the teams can. So that's my 2 cents.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we can.
Yes, finally.
You're finally on Earth.
Okay.
Okay, probably let me add my 2 cents here. That's actually a wonderful thought, Hardeep. Actually, yeah, it's true, right? We just playing for what, 3 to 4 months of summer cricket, and if some of the games are lost, I mean, that's what it used to be, right? Then they brought, not they in the sense, committee thought, okay, that is not a good way to have lost the points. Some or the other team will lose those points, right? So they gave an option to play until Tuesday, right? You can still play. For example, the June 26th game washed out. You could have still played on Monday or Tuesday. That's the de facto rule was there. But then I think 2018, I don't remember the day, a year that we brought a new change where we wanted to make the teams play, right? Not just with splitting the points, right? Rather let them play. But then there is there is a complexity where the logistics with umpiring assignments, those things all came into picture, right? That's when I think the May and June was decided for the committee to arrange the date to play for the teams. But for the July and August, there is option for the teams. If any games wash out on these 2 months, they have an option to pick the day, any day before the league, and allowed them to play. So that was the uh, idea behind it, and we are making every team to have a chance to play the game, in the season. I hope that is well received.
But I guess
Yeah.
one that I see again, in terms of two DCL, committees and you guys, is, if let's say if we are doing it on Pool C, and then every team or every match that was canceled on that day have to abide by your rules that you have to play. Like, imagine if one team say, I cannot play, and that cost them 1 point or 5 points or 4 points, then that may ended up being a reason for not to qualify in a playoff. And other
True.
teams played and they got just 1 point or 4 point or 5 points. Then that's another thing that people can come up to the committee. Hey, I should not supposed to get whatever 0 points or split points, 2 points. I should have won this game. Whatever. Everybody has their own way of thinking that I could have beat this team.
True, it happened in the past, right? You would have really seen that in the past. So that's an improvement. As a committee or as a DCL family, we made it so that every team have an opportunity to play and also make sure they get enough points to make to the playoffs. I know we are paying for 3 months hard on the field. We practice every other day to make it to the playoffs, and we know that at the end of the season we see teams losing, even by the run rate. I've seen it.
That's true.
So now we get an opportunity, right? Nobody can say no for playing the game and just easily splitting the points. That cannot happen anymore. You just have
That's
to play.
good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the rule right now, I think, seems to be fair. I think what I feel, my opinion, giving the teams the ability to reschedule their own way, that itself arises a lot of complexity, as you mentioned. First of all, finding umpires, finding neutral umpires, making sure there's no conflict of interest between across the different pools, making sure they're available at that particular time at a particular ground. And in the past, as you mentioned, not many teams, like two teams, didn't agree, like based on where they stand in the pool, or their chances of winning against a stronger team. They might very well take the split points and be happy with it. So that equation or that option defeats the purpose of giving it back to the teams to let them decide when and where to play. So having the committee take on the scheduling, that I feel is a better option than rather than giving it back to the teams and letting them decide when and where they want to play. But then with the committee deciding, then it's a hard and fast rule that you have to play on that date, no matter what other commitments you have or what other player availability you have. those kinds of things. So there's always that catch-22. Not every captain or not every team will be happy because they'll have to play back-to-back Saturday Sunday games. Those kinds of situations.
But I guess if committee decide and kind of also give an option to the captain that pick between these 2 weeks or these 2 days, or pick between, you have to finish your game by whatever, by July 15th, for example. So that way they can schedule, and then they don't have to wait for
Yeah. I think in the past, what we have seen is that when the two captains talk and when the committee is not in between, the communication doesn't happen as you would expect. The other captain being responsive and letting the other captain know that unless the two captains and the two teams are absolutely willing, like they feel like, yeah, we want to play, then the situation becomes a win-win situation. But if there is one team who in the back of the mind don't want to play, they'll find different excuses how not to play. So I think that's the catch which always comes with the washed out games.
That's true.
Viju, are you back?
I'm back.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is that are we on two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the ostensible host of the event, willing to go to any extent, even joining another co-panelist.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
That is great, man. Good to see you.
Thank you. Very good. Welcome on the show. It's
Thank you so much.
It's very exciting to have you.
But you're not very clear. You're not very clear.
Oh, ready?
Yeah, you have to come little forward, close to the mic, maybe.
Oh, okay. I just thought we were talking off the laptop mic. Am I audible now?
Better.
All right. Wait. Oh, that's all right. Well,
all right.
I didn't mean to interrupt. At least glad to see the shows start rolling. Hi, Ranjit. Good to see you as well. Thank you for joining this evening.
FD, thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah. Well, so I guess since I'm just catching up, I'll let you guys carry on with whatever you were discussing and just join in.
Yeah, while you're away, Avi, I just took on threw up this question around the washed out game. So we were having opinions going back and forth. I would love to hear. I think Viju, I think you want to say something. I think you've heard us, Ranjit and Hardeep and myself. What's your take?
My take on this, Partha, this is a Saturday league. So now you're already taking a 10-game season and then putting 2 games on Sundays and 8 games are on Saturday. And now if you're having a washed out, you're now taking that also and putting it on Sundays. It doesn't make sense because you become now more like a 50-50.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The second thing is, if you want the best, then generally you want the teams to work. You put a deadline date as Hardeep's, and then if they don't play by that date, then the committee steps in.
Yeah.
Right now it looks more like committee is forcing it down. This is what it is. You guys, whether you like it or not, you play. But if you want to improve the league, then you probably want to give that teams the chance to play. And then if they can't play by a certain date, then the committee steps in. This is what happens in a courtroom. If 2 people cannot agree, the judge says, you know what, you guys reach an agreement. If you guys don't reach an agreement, I'm going to step in and make sure there is an agreement. So I think that's a win-win situation. And now you're having a lot of teams saying that we can't play on Sunday. They have a lot of other commitments.
Yeah.
You can easily avoid that and create all this unnecessary heartburn. You can take it out of there. And the committee looks good.
Right, Viju. But we as a DCL did not schedule these games on Sundays, right? It was originally scheduled on Saturday. And these are washed out games. Fortunately, we do not have any backups, right? And we have to complete before the league. And we started late because of the COVID, right? And we don't have the flexibility of, also finding out umpires, arranging grounds. All those factors actually made us make this decision this year. Probably, if as a DCL community, if all of them think like that, maybe next year if the captain bring this captains, we have a pre-captains meeting, right? We can discuss this probably. I think that I mean we have to continuously improve, irrespective of what we do today. Tomorrow there is going to be a continuous improvement, right? So obviously, I think maybe this is something that we can further discuss for the future years and make changes to for the betterment of the league.
Cool. All right, Avi, take it on from here. Next segment.
So, okay. So essentially, we are just going to do what predictions for the forthcoming week, right?
Yep.
Avi, are you able to hear?
Sorry, what was that, Viju?
We can't hear you, Viju.
Yeah, Viju, we can't hear you. Is my voice coming through?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Viju, no.
You're not. Oh yeah, you can't. We can't hear you. I think he can hear us. I think.
Is this the prediction score of each of the predictor that
Yes.
used to be in Glad's website? Similar stuff, is it? Okay.
Yes, yeah. So amongst us analysts, we have a competition going on as to who
I see.
does.
Parthiv is leading.
So
Yes.
clearly over there, Parthiv is the most astute of the predictors, and
Satya.
Yes.
involved
Yes,
in the 24 under the Avinash, because there is no way I got so many right.
I owe it to Brownstown. They've given me some really good points.
I wanted Brownstown starting at the end.
That is true, yeah. I was at least once bitten, twice shy with Brownstone, so thankfully I scraped through. I just hope they don't get Mansur to take revenge when I bowled. Well, we'll just give Viju a minute there. I see him. Looks like he's back.
No, I don't. I think he's connecting it back.
You guys can hear me at least on the iPhone?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you, Viju, and see
Right
you.
there.
Much clearer. Yeah.
Yep. Can you hear us, Viju?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. All right. So after the 2-week hiatus, of course, some of you fanatics would have found some tournament or the other to play over the long weekend. But for a lot of us, it was a welcome break. And we have a bunch of games lined up where I'm sure everyone's excited to go head to head. Speaking of which, first up is Patriots versus Thunderbolts. Personally, I would give this one to the Patriots.
Yes, I think I'll go with Patriots as well. Thunderbolts is a brand new team. So, and I think they've registered one victory, but that's against, I think, Safaris or one of the low ranked teams. So they aren't tested yet. And Patriots, I think they have strong team to overcome Thunderbolts. So I'll definitely go with Patriots.
They have two wins and they lost badly to FCC. So I go with Patriots.
Avi, Thunderbolts started against Safaris and UCA, and they took full advantage of it and raked in 9 points of those 2 wins.
Right.
Then reality struck as they ran into an FCC team who was out to prove a point, as FCC decimated and took the thunder out of the Thunderbolts, and they took the bolts out of the Thunderbolts tires. Now you remember the dialogue, right? Zindagi mein teen cheezein kabhi underestimate nahi karna hai. I, me and myself. I feel that on game day, the Patriots will tell the Thunderbolts the following dialogue. DCL Pool A में 3 players को कभी underestimate नहीं करने का है. Naresh Sundar, Sai Kiran Tota, and Rajsekhar Reddy Durgampudi. Patriots all the way, baby.
Now, in case our guest analysts don't know, you guys are still, we still like to hear your opinions. Unfortunately, you don't get to participate in the competition we have going on amongst us that's sponsored by Green Sapling Eco-Friendly Dinnerware. But since opinions can be considered free, we'd like to hear your opinions as well. So I guess we'll follow the order wherein I first say the prediction, then Parthiv, followed by Satya, then Viju, and then just alphabetical order. Harry, we'll have you go first, and then we'll round off with Ranjit. So, Harry, who do you think? Out of Patriots and Thunderbolts, who do you think has a better chance?
Oh, Patriot, hands down.
All right.
The top scorer of DCL is from
Patriots.
Patriot. If you see the stats, I don't know the name of that person, but I know his score is 93.
Naresh Sundar.
Naresh, yeah, Naresh. He's from Patriot, and the other two guys that we named, Saito, I played with him in Legends, so he's a pretty solid batsman of a T-ball. So I'm pretty solid batting lineup Patriots has.
Right. So, and Ranjit, you said Patriots too, right?
True. Yeah.
All right. So Patriots all the way. Looks like.
Yeah, they'll be happy to get 6 votes this week.
Absolutely. Right.
Absolutely.
UCA, I believe this is going to be another straight shot in favor of Raptors.
Yeah, I think Raptors for me as well. I'm just going to hope that UCA, wins the toss and put elects to bat. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon for UCA. Raptors are going to take full toll and score some big runs and get UCA. It's kind of a leather hunt for them all afternoon. So hopefully, Raptors get it wrapped up very quickly and get the 5 points they so deservedly need.
Yeah, UCA came back strong last game, but still, I think Raptors will take over easily. Viju?
Avi, Raptors have a guy named Pradeep Botta, who's one of the best money players in DCL. UCA does not have anybody even remotely close to what is called a money player. In fact, they have a bunch of spendthrifts, all right? Raptors have somebody called Kiran Bainapalli, who is another great player, all right? And just that the Raptors have not used him very well in the past, but of late, since Botta took over as captain, I think Kiran has been a more integral part. And then the Raptors have Vikas Reddy Bijam, who's another very good player and a former skipper. If you ask me, UCA, who do they have? None of the same kind of caliber players. Raptors have too many difference makers and too much talent for UCA to make any kind of dent. Now, you remember that movie Diwar, and there was a dialogue which goes this way, where Bachchan says, "Apni jeb mein rakh le, Peter. अब ये ताला मैं तेरी जेब से चाबी निकालकर ही बोलूंगा." And you know what? On game day, Raptors will forcefully take the winning key out of the pockets of the UCA team and open the key to victory and dominate UCA. Raptors all the way, baby.
Somebody has taken time over the weekend to catch up on movies.
I know. If you on point with this Bollywood knowledge, and definitely looks like UCA are staring down the barrel. Do you agree, Hardeep?
Oh yes, yep. All these known players, we've been playing with them for I don't know so many years. They always come back strong, and I'm not familiar with who UCA players are, so I'll go with the Raptor as well.
All right, Ranjit?
Raptors.
All right. Next up, Safaris versus Dark Horses. And Dark Horses, in my mind, were a pretty solid team, but just based on recent trends, I'd like to go with Safaris on this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. I feel like Safaris have come strong. Couple of games, they were so close to beating their opposition. And Dark Horses have kind of withered away. They have a couple of good players, Rahul Bhandari and Pankaj Vats. If they don't make it, I think they're probably going to lose. So I'll go with Safaris based on the current form they're in. I think they should be able to get this game.
All right.
I go with Safaris too, because the form they are in currently, they should be able to easily take Dark Horses. But Dark Horses is a good team. It's not a bad team. It's just the day they are not getting in. Hopefully they might start winning, but I go with Safaris this time.
Avi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Dark Horses has Rahul Bandari and Chaitanya, who have registered some credibility in my book. Watts has carried Dark Horses for ages. But if you ask me, Watts has not delivered anything this year. Safaris, on the other hand, had a dismal game one. But the way they played against Thunders and Troy Hawks, they won the respect of the league, especially mine. Now, both teams are fighting for the emperor of the basement of Pool A. Momentum is with Safaris on this one. So I'm going to go with Safaris on this one, Avi.
All right. Harry?
Both teams are new to me. I known Dark Horses. I don't want to comment. I don't know any of the team members. I know Pankaj Watts from Dark Horses and I guess Rahul Bandari as well, but nobody from Safari. So no comment. No comment here.
Just as a morale booster, for the poor Dark Horses, can we just say you're in their camp? Or?
Yeah. Okay. For me, as I know them, I'll go with Dark Horses.
I know. To be honest, my first ever DCL game was actually against Dark Horses. So and they were a pretty solid side from what I remember. So it's kind of sad to see how they've fallen, but hopefully they have better days ahead of them. Ranjit?
Dark Horses.
Dark Horses, all right.
Yeah. I like Pankaj a lot. He's a great player.
No favors, huh?
Yeah.
Ranjit, I love Pankaj Watts too. He's a very good umpire. He's a very nice human being. But this is a cricket game, you see.
Oh.
And in a cricket game, well, you know what? At this point of time, you remember that Tom Cruise movie where it says, show me the money, baby, show me the money. And Dark Horses has shown me nothing, absolutely nothing. That's the whole problem.
Not so far, but I feel that, somehow my gut feeling says that, okay, Dark Horses will win this game.
Yeah, hope.
Good luck, buddies.
Come on. All right. Next up is FCC versus SSK again. In my mind, this is a no-brainer. FCC getting in the momentum that they have, they really should wallop the Super Kings, in my opinion.
Yeah, I go with FCC as well. I think after the first initial jolt, the first week they got, I think Vadnala has, got the team back in the groove. I saw them practicing really hard, and they've got back a few players from Falcons, as well as Tejas and Teju are also playing together. So I definitely feel they have the edge, but do not count Super Kings. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset, to be honest. But based on current momentum and past experience with the Falcons, the big guys in Falcons, I'll go with FCC.
I'm going with FCC just because of the big names and the experience. But SSK FCC will be a close game.
Yep.
So it might be end up like 24 or somewhere. But there might be an upset. But I just go with experience as Falcons.
Avi, FCC is on fire. Vadnala has FCC on fire. And that fire burned the Thunderbolts batting into ashes. If you ask me, FCC is looking to put in another great performance. Vadnala is promising me mutton dum biryani from paradise itself, all right? From the paradise river. Now, last I checked, Lingappan was offering me Mysore masala dosa, and he instead sent me Lahore, masala samosa. I don't trust guys who don't get my order right. I don't trust guys who do not treat me well and provide me the food which I crave. So for that reason, I am going with Vadnala and FCC, mutton dum biryani, and FCC will be feasting on it, and I'll be feasting with them.
You may want to double check it's paradise he has a stake in, but but we certainly appreciate the sentiments that we get. Hardeep?
Yeah, FCC, hands down. I guess in FCC, to me, I guess one of their greatest players is Mr. Teju Kumar. He always bowls great. He always plays as an anchor. So I like FCC I played with them almost every time. They have something else to show. So I'm betting on Teju would be my star batsman for FCC.
Although Teju may or may not play, because I know DSK Warriors have a game on Saturday, the 40-40 game, and I know he's an integral part in Puneet's plans, but again, I might be mistaken. But we watch.
Having said that, the FCC guys performed great when the Glads guys were joined together. Now, Vadnala's real challenge is to make sure that the Falcons and these FCC guys can perform to the same level as what these FCC guys were producing when they were joined with the Glads guys, whether it was in FCC tournaments or Thana tournament or many of these other tournaments where we went out and won cups kind of a thing. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, they have the talent.
Ranjit, what do you think?
I mean, I have to definitely talk about Venkat. There are days where the T-ball, the semis and finals, would not even have a score of 68, 70. I remember Glad's lost a game in 2 runs. Viju?
Yeah,
back in
2013. 2013 finals, they scored 60 and we scored 58.
Yeah,
or 59.
I mean,
yeah.
I know what Venkat's team is capable of. And he's a great leader, and they have combined with FCC. They have great players like Teju, and they have Prabhu now. In addition to that, Sai, great players, and again SSK. They have been in the DCL for the past few years. They're getting better and better.
What do you want? There is a ghost in it.
So from the I mean, good luck to SSK. It was definitely a good fight. My vote is also on FCC. Yes.
All right. Next up is Spartans versus Hitmen, I believe. And contrary to their name, the Hitmen really haven't produced any hits thus far, and looks like, at least in my opinion, the trend is going to continue, and it's going to be Spartans.
Yeah. Yes, I think I go with Spartans as well, but I also want to add, Spartans is probably one team which is, as the dark horses in Pool B. So they are former Detroit Blues who are now Spartans, but they've added a bunch of talent, and I am betting again in favor of them that they should be able to reach the playoffs. So. They look a very good team. I've seen them play against KRCC. The KRCC was lucky to get the 4 or 5 points that they got, but this team, I just want to put a red flag and say this is team to look out for. This is team which is slowly building up, and I wouldn't be surprised if they cause a few upsets, and even in the playoffs.
So to me, the Hitmans is a new team. But Spartan really proved that they can play after all the new joinees. So they beat Brownstone last game. So I go with Spartan as they have the momentum still.
Avi, I've been picking against Spartans and they have been burning me in the analyst race. Last I checked, I'm trailing Parthiv Mehta by a significant margin in this $251 cash award from Green Sampling. And so my chance of winning that $251 is about as remote as the most beautiful girl in the world falling in love with my bald head. All right. So even a donkey, if you take it and if it falls into the same ditch 3 days in a row, even that donkey is wise enough not to fall into that same ditch on the 4th day. So I am going to mend my ways and I'm going to publicly acknowledge that I've been a donkey in picking against the Spartans. So this game, I'm going with the Spartans, and I'm also making a bold prediction that Nadeem Khan is going to be hitting the Hitmen all around the park on game day. So Spartans for me.
Hardeep?
Yeah, Spartans. I'll go with Spartans.
All right. And Ranjit?
Spartans. Nadeem Khan.
Like a clean sweep against the Hitmen. Detroit Bulls versus the Legends. Now, Detroit Bulls did start off very promisingly, but I have a feeling they don't really have a chance against the Legends. So it's going to be Legends for me. Parthiv?
Yes. Yes. Again, this is a should be an easy win for Legends, provided that they have the players. I think Legends without a couple of key players like Harish, and there's another player which I'm missing the name, but a couple of their key players missing, they do feel vulnerable. So I'll go with Legends, but I do feel that it all depends on who the players come up with. It's going to be tough if they don't have their players.
I go with Legends. They have the momentum. Even if they miss Harish, I think they could able to take this game. But we have to wait and see how Detroit Bulls after coming back after the loss, and they're still trying to form their team A. So I'll go with Legends this match.
Yeah, without Harish, I would think Legends have enough firepower to overwhelm the Detroit Bulls. Viju, do we have Viju? Yes. Looks like Viju is again having connection problems. I guess we can go to Hardeep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can vote for Viju as well. I'm pretty sure he will vote for Legend as well, hands down.
That is
And I'm I know we talked about the 6-wicket haul that Harish took. I mean, even with Harish in their team, they are like Legend is one of the other team that is very solid this year.
right.
Like we're talking about all the other team, but Legend has so many good players. And anytime that they played, I played with them a tournament last year, and they play as a unit. Like regardless whatever happens, I mean, you love to play with those teams who play with that intensity. So that's something I really like on all the Legend players. Like regardless of result, even after result, if it's not in our favor,
Agreed.
then still, I mean, we are there. You know, we enjoy. They enjoy. You know, Satish is handling the team really well. So I'll go with Legend.
Just curious, when did you play with Legends?
There was
Yeah,
a
Avi,
tournament-
Tanuj, can you hear me?
Yes, Viju. Looks like we have you back. Yeah.
Yeah, so Avi, Tanuj has been applying a lot of bull droppings on my head and my face. He has taken it into an art form. He has even put me into the great bull oven. All right. And he has been baking me up there. Now, this week, I'm going to get my revenge. All right. I am going to bring that great bull terminator. And that great bull terminator is the Legends team. They are my not so secret weapon. And the Legends are going to shoot these bulls. Boom, 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 boom.
Bullseye.
And that's what is going to happen. And that's it. The Bulls are going to be toast, baby. I'm going to get my revenge this week.
All right. Great. And yeah, sorry, Hardeep, you were in the midst of saying. So you played with them in one of the other tournaments, you said?
Yeah, there was one tournament. I guess it was FCC tournament, and
okay.
we played together. I was playing with them. Chetan was there. Harish was there. Narne was there.
Right.
Vamsi. Almost every Legend player was there. So it was a very decent team, and
Yes.
I love their intensity. They played exactly like we do.
Totally agree with you. I've had the pleasure of being part of the Legends outfit as well. So yeah, they definitely look to have the ascendancy. Ranjit, do you agree?
Yes. I mean, this will be a good context from what I see. Their form in the other tournaments for the Bulls is fantastic. And we know we have talked about Legends, a solid team. Again, this will be a tough fight, but I will go with Legends based on the team composition, everything. But, we should be prepared for the upset here as well in case it happens.
Great, awesome. Looks like Legends all the way. Next up is KRCC versus Blasters. Now this, I'm sure, will be a very, very good contest. And this is one where I had quite an opportunity for pause before I decided to cast my vote in with KRCC.
Avi, if you didn't vote for KRCC, I would have been roasting you alive, all right? Because you said KRCC is going to go undefeated. And this is the week I have been waiting for. I've been waiting with bated breath to see if your bark is as good as your bite, to see if you're going to vote for KRCC. So it's good that you voted for KRCC because it gives me an opportunity to catch up with you.
Well, unfortunately, the bark is mine, but the bite is up to them. So I really like a good chunk out of the Blasters. Partha, what do you think?
Yeah, I am going with KRCC as well. I think they have enough firepower, and I think the game and this I think if it wasn't for Glad Pokiris would have been our showcase game of the week as well. This is going to be a contest of the heavyweights. Blasters have accumulated a lot of good talent. Cream of Falcons. They have the Blazers from Imti and the rest of his crew. So they have a strong unit, and it's going to be a good contest with my friend Malik and Ronnie are going to be there. So they're going to be a key factor, and I definitely feel it's going to be a close game. And depending on who bats first, I think that's going to be key to how this game goes, because I think both teams bat deep, and the opportunity to bat on the wicket first will probably give them the edge to put. The chasing is going to be tough because I think it's going to be a tall score to chase.
Agreed.
So I go with Blasters this game because I have experience and a couple of new people joined. I hope all those new Falcon guys and MP with Hari Krishna and everybody joins there. So and KRCC we have Maulik, Roni, but I don't see a big player, but they have a good unit, but we have to see how they come up. But I think Blasters can take this game.
All right. I do not know if we are getting Hari Parankusam to join us on today's show because he apparently doesn't have power, but he was supposed to join us for Team Spotlight because Team Spotlight was to be Blasters, but I think he's having power difficulties. But
yeah,
anyways,
we just heard he's not joining us, Viju. So he asked us to convey his apologies to all of us. To the panel.
Okay. Anyway, everybody knows I do not want to grow a mustache, and I have said that I'm going to grow a mustache if KRCC goes undefeated. I'm trusting Hari Parankusam to do the magic, and this is the week I've been waiting for KRCC to go down. Now I am be standing on my head and praying for KRCC to lose this game because I certainly do not want to grow a mustache. But Parthiv, you know this movie Sholay, all right? Let me paint this picture to you. You have Jay and sorry, not Jay, Viru, who proposes to Basanti, and the Mausi comes and hears all the things from Amitabh about how useless a guy Viru is, and she says, I will not give my my Basanti to this useless character. So the next thing you know, this guy gets drunk and goes on top of the water tower and he claims that he's going to do suicide. And so the dialogue goes this way: when I am dead, police coming, Budia going to jail. Budia going to jail, and they are chucky piecing and pissing and pissing. This is what is going to be happening to the Budia, is what he says. Well, let me tell you something. My friend Yogesh Mittal, our friend Hari Parankusam and Imtiaz Mohammad Abdul and every Tom, Dick and Harry, including Deepak Giriyappa, I expect to play this game. By the way, I do not know how Hari Parankusam did this, but Deepak Giriyappa has left Indus Thunders and joined Blasters. And I'm expecting Deepak Giriyappa to play this game. I think that the Blasters bowling is going to be top notch. I think Parankusam will do everything in his power to make sure that he brings his best team for this game. And after this game, our friend Yogesh Mittal will be chucky piecing and pissing. And guess who is going to be standing on his side? My good friend Maulik Patel will be pissing. And our friend Yogesh Mittal will be doing all this chucky piecing. And on the left side of Yogesh Mittal, my other good friend, Ronnie Patel, will be telling Maulik, man, Maulik, you're not aiming properly, man. The skipper is not able to do chucky pissing properly. Please piss properly. I am telling you, on game day, Blasters are going to blast KRCC. KRCC is going to go down for the count. As far as I am concerned, Imtiaz Mohammad Abdul And Hari Parankusam need not show me their face if they lose this game. This is Izzat ka Sawal ka game. And as well, I am going to say, it is some Parankusam and some Mohammad Abdul if they can't win this game, because this game is going to be the game which I'm going to be watching other than the Glads Pokiris game. I'm going to be watching this game, and I'm going to be watching the Emperor of the Basement game. Those are 3 games I want to watch this week. Emperor of the Basement game, which is happening in Pool C between AR Phantoms and Micah DHM. I would like to see who is going to take that title. But this game, for the fact that I don't want to grow a mustache, I'm going to follow it very closely. And then, of course, the Glads Pokiris game goes without a doubt that all 4 votes went in favor of that for the showcase game of the week. But Yogesh Mittal will be doing a lot of chucky piecing this week. That's my bet.
All right.
Oh my God, what a speech. So I'm thinking this is going to be the showcase game. I mean, people going to watch this game rather than Glads versus Pokiris.
It all depends on how you market it, my friend. It all depends on how you market it. And this is why we brought you and Ranjit to market the showcase game of the week. You 2 guys have to do a marketing job. And hopefully my friend Parthiv will ask all the proper questions to feed you guys to market this game.
Oh, okay. A lot of burden on us. I've been playing with KRCC guys. So considering the bowling attack that Blaster has, KRCC will have to do a great job in batting. They have some bowlers to, feed all those 25 overs. But considering the deadly bowler that Blaster has, they will have to stay on the pitch to make some runs. And I played with KRCC. I really like Prasad, Satish, Maulik plays there. Then Sahesh, one of my really good friend, he plays there. So that's there, one of the top bowler. And Onkar there. So there are a lot of players that I play with, even the indoor. But I guess DCL is always favors the bowlers. And when you have those deadly bowlers, I think I'm gonna go with Blaster as well. That they will have little edge. They have batting, they have bowling, they have deep lineup. KRCC also have deep lineup, but Mr. Satish, Sahesh, and Prasad, Maulik, Ronnie, they have lot of burden on them. So it's gonna be a good game to watch. But my vote will be for Blasters.
You still think it's a bowler's game, Harry, despite the hardened ball which people like you keep depositing outside the ground on a regular basis? And
that was my answer as well. The DCL is not a bowler's game anymore. It's a batsman game. Whoever is batting well on the day, they will win the game. That's it. Because anybody can hit.
I'll tell you this. Okay, with Glads and Pokiris, if we don't have any bowlers in our team, nothing's gonna happen. You need bowlers, hands down, regardless whether the score is 80, 90 or 100. When the 2 tops team play, you don't expect it will be a whitewash, 150, 160. That happens sometimes amongst us, but that was onesie twosies, okay?
True.
So that is something that's gonna spice it up, whether it's gonna be a whitewash or it's not gonna be a whitewash.
So
now the KRCC guys and the Blasters guys are going to be saying that the showcase game of the week should be that, because I've done that good a job marketing that game.
I know. So Hardeep, you're saying KRCC, sorry,
Blasters.
Blasters? Okay. And Ranjit, what about yourself?
Mine is also Blasters.
Oh, you're also playing with Blasters. All right. So it looks like Blasters have the advantage. Next up is FCC Anthony versus Brownstown. Now I'm sure Viju has something to say about he's already loading his gun to fire at Brownstown. But at least personally, I feel at least this game, Brownstown hopefully will deliver and repay the faith that we are putting in them. So Brownstown for me.
Yes, I am going to switch first time on to Brownstown's card, Brownstown's caravan. And I think the reason is it's July and, the Brownstown diesel engine is cranked up. They have got a weekend, which they have had chance to kind of, sort things up. And it's about at this time that you see Brownstown coming back. just enough to get their playoff berth. So my, you will, from now on, Brownstown is going to be a different team altogether. So I'm definitely going with Brownstown from this week onwards.
All right.
Yeah. So my vote goes to Brownstown, but I was thinking between Agni and Brownstown. But who is the better team in losing? I thought, but Agni, I have never proved anything. At least I'm going with Brownstown. So.
Yeah, Avi, 3 games, 0 points for Brownstown. Rashid Malik is a smart guy. He knows what's staring at his face. But the problem for Brownstown is, just like Roger Federer looked old and slow today when he played and got thrashed 6-0 in the third set, that's the problem for Brownstown. They are looking old and slow. When I saw the game live against Legends, what I felt is they look extremely slow and old. And that's going to be a problem. Age is a problem. It's catching up with Federer. It's catching up with Brownstown. And if Brownstown does not win this week, I will be asking Satya to please present a video of a coffin being prepared. And also I would have him to take that Brownstown logo and also have a picture of Rashid Malik. Let's do a public burial of Rashid Malik and Brownstown in next week's show if Brownstown doesn't win this game. This is a must-win game because there is only 7 more games and there is no wiggle room like a 12-game season. So a 10-game season, they have to get moving. They are on 0 points. So this is one game they have to win. If they don't win this, I think mathematically they are alive, but practically they are dead. I would start the burial procedures next week if that doesn't happen. So again, everything which is said, Avi, I think most people know that I say it in jest. I don't mean anything personally. It's just we have to create some excitement and interest, and there is no use in being bland and boring and not willing to speak your mind. And what's the point in that? Everybody
we're not gonna take this dual-sided approach, man. Either you have to take the sword and cut the neck, or you do not take the sword. Simple. You say it like it is. Simple it is. And I totally agree with you. Brownstown today only rely on Mansab, Mr. Talal Ikram, Saad Salman, and they added one guy, one of my friend Prithpal. That's it. They only have these guys. Rest everyone will have to stay on the pitch just to eat balls. I don't see anyone else scoring run. One of my great friend Adnan plays with them. And I guess they also need to hear you, Viju, most of the time. And I guess I'm included in it. Whenever we talk, they got so pumped up that they beat us in 2019 or 2019 it is.
Yeah, so Hardeep, you know what? Sandeep Gopu has a ready-made remedy. He doesn't prepare any public speech. He just has whatever I say, he just feeds it to his team. So not only does it pump our team, it seems to pump the opposition also a lot. My friend Alien Brain Ravi Narala, his blood will be boiling every now and then. You get my point? He didn't even have the guts to show up on the thing. At least Ranjit is a man's man and he had the guts, and he's the real lion in the Pokiris team that he came and said, you know what, I'll take on the challenge. But I'm going to publicly shame that Ravi Narala guy. Man, have the guts to show up. You're the skipper of the Pokiris team. Take the heat. Come on the show and say it. Whatever it is said, you get my point. Most of what we say is in jest, we are not trying to make fun of anybody, but at the same time, we want to make it interesting. We want to make it exciting. We want to talk up the players. We want to talk good. And at the same time, we want to have some fun. So, we got to say certain things as it is.
Let's go. He's not in station. He's out of station. That's why he didn't join. He said he will join.
Oh, is it?
Yes, we certainly hope he'll be here in person too.
Okay, then I got a wrong impression from Avinash. Then Avinash is the culprit because Avinash said he asked Ravi and Ravi said no. That's all I heard. I heard Ravi said no. So I automatically assumed when Ravi said no, Ravi didn't have the guts which Rashid Malik had. Rashid had the guts. We were making fun of Brownstown, and we were calling them out for their poor performances. But Rashid had the guts to come and present his case and present his team and
talk about the thing. We all had this thing, but that's the way it rolls, Otherwise, it becomes a boring show. But anyway, let's go on.
Vijay, you're hell bent on getting me in trouble with my own discovery.
Well, my
He's benching again next game.
You can't even blame the guy.
throwing somebody under the bus, huh?
I should have qualified my remarks. Yes, he wasn't available. But he did say, I cannot join. But anyway, so Hardeep, who
Yeah,
will you
Brownstown. I vote for Brownstown. I think they will be able to win this game fair and square, but don't expect it to be a highlight game. I'm pretty sure Brownstown will win.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. So that's the way the English saying goes. So right now, necessity is on Brownstown side, and they are 0 points. They'll have to win this game.
Right. And Ranjit?
Brownstown.
Brownstown for you as well. All right. So let's quickly go through the remaining 4 games. MCC Miles versus Punjab Warriors. Punjab Warriors have flat out to deceive thus far, with their first game performance then being succeeded by a mini string of not so great performances, but I still think they have enough in them to put it past the MCC Miles.
It's interesting that you go for Punjab Warriors. I do feel that Punjab Warriors have a few good batsmen. They've shown that they can hit in the first game, but they're still relatively new to this DCL format. And MCC Miles have been experienced, and it's they have a couple of really good players. Sanjay alone kind of can take the game away very easily. There's Arun, yes, there's Arun as well. I think, wasn't this person Karthik Bopadi?
No, Rahul. Actually, Rahul is a fantastic player. He pretty much single-handedly.
Yes, Rahul Chenna, right.
In all the aspects of the game, bat, ball, and fielding.
Right. So they have a bunch of really good batsmen up for the top order, and if they can fire, I think Punjab Warriors are going to find it really tough. But Punjab Warriors again should take this game deep if they want to kind of win it. So I would say put the score on the board and hope for the best, because I think once a team puts a score on the board, even the best of teams can buckle. So even though I go with MCC Miles, but I'll be curious to see how Punjab Warriors fare.
So for me, it's going to be who is going to win the toss. So if Punjab Warrior wins, they are going to score at least 100, and it will be tough for MCC Miles to bat the Punjab Warriors bowling. Punjab Warriors really have a good bowling, as I see. But if MCC Miles bat first, they might end up scoring around 80, but it depends on Punjab Warriors how they take that 80, because after the first 3-4 wickets, they don't have anybody really to go. So I would expect initially they use the power play, that's it, and then they can score slowly. I'd go with Punjab Warriors.
Avi, on this one, I was very mightily impressed with the way Punjab Warriors played against Glads. They took it to us. I thought their bowling was good. We only scored some 81 odd runs on that day. Their core players.
You take 100% credit of that, Viju. It's all because of you.
Why is that?
They came prepared with bat, ball, hockey, and everything. That who's that guy who was speaking against us in that meeting? We're gonna beat the shit out of him.
Okay,
well, glad you are in India.
Well, you know what?
Otherwise, it would have been a different way. You are sitting in your chair.
No, well, I don't think they are going to be doing anything to me because they know that, whatever I say, most guys know that, what I say in jest as well as this thing. But anyways, the thing is, I thought the Punjab Warriors were mighty impressed. I was impressed with the Sardar brand. Their core players of Inderpreet, Amrinder Pal, Ranveer, Manjinder, and Prithpal, all solid good players. Okay, so that's 5 good players, and if all 5 of them play, I think they will get the job done. Miles are simply not clicking, and you guys keep talking about Sanjay Alangawan. I have seen Sanjay Alangawan. He is a great player, but this season he has done squat, he has done zippo, he has done zilch, and maybe after he sees this, he'll get motivated and he wants to go out and perform. Well, that's good. Then he can thank me for that. But at the moment, as far as I am concerned, Sanjay Ilangovan is preparing to go to space with Jeff Bezos and the Blue Atlantic, Blue Origin team. All right. So he's headed towards space. And the last I checked, from space, he's not going to be able to do anything on game day. All right. So as far as I'm concerned, Miles are not going to get this done because their players, with the exception of Rahul Chenna, have been doing squat. Rahul Chenna has been playing really well. I'll agree with that. But cricket is a team game, and you can't expect one person to perform every single time. All these other characters need to produce. So I'm going to go with Punjab Warriors. I like what I saw. And it's only that the Glad's bowling was outstanding on that day. That's why we, won with almost double bonus or whatever it is. But I think their batting is top notch.
I did go to their dugout the previous game just in case they hadn't seen our show, and I did convey Viju's message to them as well. I'm hoping I can do that again this time. Hardeep, what do you think?
Yeah. Almost 10.
Well, when you went there, were they really looking to beat me up, as Mr. Hardeep Singh was saying?
I will reserve my comments on that.
What is that again?
I reserve my comments on that.
Okay, that means Hardeep Singh is squatting. He's making things up.
No. You can call their captain and ask him that when I was there, he asked a specific question. Hey, was that guy was saying things against us? Or then other team members say, no, he didn't say anything like it. Like, okay. And he has like 21-inch dollar. He will hold you with one hand right on the wall. Okay, so
the guy who Hardeep, the guy who can hold me with one hand on this thing has not been born yet. Trust me on that.
Okay, jokes apart, but
English version of what was originally said in Punjabi.
Yeah, you can say that. But jokes apart, I also think that Punjab Warrior will do it. And as a team, they need to figure out, how to play responsibly. I know their players, like all the players that you name. Manjinder is one of their best players. Amrinder is there. Then Prithpal is there. Then there is another guy called Raman. He's there. Their bowling is top notch. They need to just get a sense of DCL before this Saturday. Because at this moment, they are just playing, okay, it's just another tournament. But now when they are getting into DCL, they see all these events happening. People are talking about them. People are talking about their performance, their match. So they kind of see the limelight of DCL as well. So they need to absorb that and start playing responsibly. They have the bowling to at least, win so many games and qualify for playoffs for first year. And I'm pretty sure from our pool, they are the one who can do that. But all their main 4 or 5 players that we named, they have to play responsibly. And Miles' bowling is not that great that they cannot hit them out of the park. So I'm expecting some good show from 3, 4, 5 players. You will see some big hits from them as well. So you will see good score.
The 5 players I mentioned, Hardeep, I saw that in the Glad's game. They were really good. So when you see a player, you know whether the guy is good or not.
Yep. They added a bowler. I forgot that bowler name. I think it was Ranveer. Ranveer. Spinner.
He played against us.
It was very difficult to play him. So if Miles is listening, whenever that guy is bowling, beware. You better not give him wickets. And Ranveer, otherwise, if he plays, he's not going to give good run, not even 10 runs in his 5 overs.
Yeah, I actually played with some of them in the 2020s league this year. And much to the indignance of the F40 captain, I've been extolling the virtues of DCL and how it's the purest form of the game. Obviously, I'm not entirely serious when I say that, but yeah, it's hopefully the limelight, like you said. Now that the Punjab Warriors are aware of that, hopefully they will step up their game. Ranjit, do you think there's a potential for that happening?
MCC Miles is a very good team. Trust me, they have added, Karthik Bopudi, Arvind, who's the left-hander batsman from SSK, Arun Dinagaran from SSK. These three additions, maybe more. I haven't seen the other players, but these 3 additions with the rest of their, even Raviteja Mita, I think he played for Blues. The Spartans last year, 2019. these 4 additions, right? They're good additions. In addition to that, they have Rahul, Brahma, Praneeth. They're really good players in addition to Sanjay, obviously, right? They just did not click as a team. Again, even against Pokiris team, Pokiris game, they started well. Then along the middle overs, in the batting, they lost the momentum. But Rahul brought the momentum back. But when they're bowling, as soon as 1 or 2 hits, their shoulders were, dropped. And that's what I mean, personally, if they ask me, I would recommend, because this ball travels, anyone can hit and it travels a lot. Just 1 or 2 hit, just don't drop it. I'm sure that you can pull it together. So if they all play together, they will definitely win this game. My vote is against with MCC match.
Interesting. Okay. Next up, we have MI Rangers facing Sterling Strikers, and I'm inclined to back MI Rangers.
I think
let's go through this somewhat quickly.
Yeah, my vote is for Sterling Strikers. I know Abhilash is the game changer for MI Rangers, and so is Raza Ali on the Sterling Strikers side. And last I checked, Raza Ali still is at the top of the bowling charts. I expect Sterling Strikers to somehow sneak this game. If they somehow do not let Abhilash control the game, I think Sterling Strikers are a better unit as compared to MI Rangers. So I go with Sterling Strikers.
All right.
I go with Sterling Strikers. So it depends on Abhilash again, but we have that Raza Ali is playing really good with bat and ball. So I think if Raza Ali can pick Abhilash, then MI Rangers might see a downfall there.
Abhilash is a good player, but I have a feeling sometimes we put too much of the focus on him and completely leave out the fact that MI Rangers also have they have Ifti, they have Venkat Gandham, and they have Anush. So as a team, I think MI Rangers are quite a good unit. Even apart from,
but every game which you see win, that Abhilash should have performed. None of them took the game out and win anything for MI Rangers. So that's why Abhilash is really important for them in bad ball and even keeping he's doing nowadays.
Oh, okay. Wow, he also kept. Okay, so looks like this is the game changer.
Avi, when Chicago Bulls used to win, it was Michael Jordan who used to pretty much do most of the work, and he single-handedly could take the game away from the opponent. If you ask me for MI Rangers, Abhilash is there, Michael Jordan. I'm telling you the honest truth. The guy is playing at a very high level. He bowls extremely well. He bats very well. He's able to keep. He is an excellent player. And I'm sold on the Abhilash brand. The only problem I have is what happens if he fails. Then where do you go? But I do believe, as you said, Radang is a very solid player, which they have. They have Ifti, who has always been a solid player. Jitu, when he gets going, he can be a handful. Venkat Gandham is an excellent player. And they have Anush, and there are a few other players. So it's not just a one-man team. Though I do think that just like Jordan had Pippen and Rodman and a few other players, but still Jordan controlled pretty much everything, and that's the same thing which happens here. But having said that, I still feel that yes, on the Sterling Strikers, Raza Ali is going to pick up his probably another 5-wicket haul, and he's going to have another good game. But I just feel that what happens after Raza Ali, and I feel that Rangers have more options in their arsenal, in the sense that they can chase a high-scoring game. They can score a low-scoring game. Their ability to adapt according to the circumstances, and in a game, a team which can adapt both ways, whether it's a defensive game or an offensive game, usually will come out with a win. So I'm going to pick the Rangers on this one, but it's going to be a good game.
All right. Hardeep, accompanied by Metal Harnoor.
Yeah, she wants to vote too. I think I like MI Rangers. I played with them or against them in, I guess it was the same team in winter finals, and they beat us. We were the combination of KRCC plus whatever some of the Glad players, 3-4. They played really well. But I think Sterling Strikers still have an edge in bowling department. MI Rangers have Abhilash and Anush and one other guy, I don't know his name. So they are the only three bowlers that Sterling strikers have to kind of, play them out. But another backdrop of Sterling striker is that they are not able to bat under pressure. So toss will be one the crucial item in their match. Whosoever plays first and made 90, 100 runs, they will be able to pull the game with bonus point. So, but my vote will be for Sterling striker.
Sterling strikers.
Yeah.
I'll go with MI. I'll go with MI Ranges.
A witness to it. So what do you think?
I'll go with MI Ranges, Abhi.
Oh, all right. Okay.
There's a 3-3 tie.
Yeah, like Vijay said, except Raja Ali, if he fails, maybe one or two. But in the case of MI Ranges, they have this team, right? And they all come together. I know we happen to be in one of the instances in 2016, I guess. They're a good team. If they play together, I'm sure that they can win this game.
All right. Great. Then we come to a matchup between Viju's favorite teams, Mica Thunderbirds and AR Phantoms. This really not very slim pickings, to be honest. But I guess I'll go with AR Phantoms.
Avi, let me set the game up. The winner of this game, hands down, pants down, is going to win the Emperor of the Basement award for all of DCL. I'm not talking about just Pool A or Pool B, but for all 32 teams in DCL, who is going to be the Emperor of the Basement is one thing which everybody every year wants to know. Everybody wants to know the number one team, but you also want to know who's the number 32 team. There is much riding on this game, all right? So let's market this game up. This is the title for the Emperor of the Basement. Whoever loses this game is in the driver's seat, like Michael Schumacher is in the driver's seat, racing towards the checkered flag. And I believe the loser of this game will take that checkered flag. But I'll let Parthiv go on this one. Before he said it, I wanted to pump up this game.
Absolutely. I think I was going to say the same thing. This is going to be the clash of the basement title, right? Both teams have, one thing I would give it to both teams. They have great names, great catchy names. Somehow they've always, they're always on the tip of the tongue, Phantoms and Mica. I am going with Mica purely because of the fact that I have played AR Phantoms in one of the practice games. And I haven't seen Mica in DCL, but I've seen Mica in one of the Leatherball leagues. So they have a couple of decent players, and I feel like that should be enough to get it past the Phantoms. So my vote is contrary to Avi. I'll go with Mica.
My vote goes to AR Phantoms. I don't know, because both teams I did not see yet. We did not play them yet. That I would say like that. But I know Mica, they have in F40 and other things, but their total scoring is totally different. And DCL, they are so bad. Like last time I picked Mica, but they failed. So this time I pick AR Phantoms.
Avi, I don't know anybody on these two teams. We've just been, every week making, we've been just having fun on the names and things like that. But there's an old jungle saying in the Phantom comics, if you have read it, the old jungle saying, nobody argues with the Phantom and wins. And so I believe on game day, you know what, Mica Thunderbirds or Mica DHM, they can come and, I think they might not get drubbed, they might not get hammered, they might not get massacred. But I think AR Phantoms, with that Phantom, he looks and the Tiger's blood freezes, So the same thing is probably going to happen. Mica DHM, their blood might freeze when the Phantom looks at them. And so for that reason, I'm going to pick my, AR Phantoms to win this game.
All right. Hardeep?
I would go with Mica. I think I know that they have a F40 team. So just based on that, I'm going with Mica.
All
Thank you.
Okay, and Ranjit, to round off?
I don't know both the teams, Abhi, so I just go with Phantoms.
With Phantoms, okay. All right. Looks like
Hardeep, you're going with the fact that they have a F40 team, but their name says Michigan International Cricket Association. All right. So that means they have international in in their name also. So, looks can be very deceiving, my friend. Looks can be extremely deceiving. So too, names can be extremely deceiving. These are supposed to be international stars, but I don't know. They're fighting for the basement right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we still haven't figured out what is AR stand for, but yeah, we'll probably find out someday.
Alternate reality, my good friend. Alternate reality. AR phantoms.
It's a community at Adina Ridge where Vamsi lives.
Oh, okay.
What is the name?
I think Adelina Ridge, that the community.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness, we have even found out the community in which they live. Oh my goodness. I've learned about this community all the way in India, 10,000 miles away. Oh my God.
Well, with that, we come to the marquee clash of the weekend. The game to which we have been building up all this while. Last time these two sides faced each other, Pokiris were absolutely blown out of the water by the Gladiators, chiefly due to the exploits of the gentleman that's joined us this evening on the behalf of the Gladiators, Hardeep Singh, and who is, like I said, representing Glad here today, but representing Pokiris, and to show that the Pokiris are not pushovers either, we have Ranjit here to plead the case on behalf of the Pokiris. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whoever is watching, the showcase game of the weekend, Gladiators versus Pokiris. So do we want to let the verbals begin, or should we go with the predictions at the outset?
Let's start with the prediction, and then we can basically field some questions, I guess.
All right, sounds great. So personally speaking, I'd say all things put together, the Pokiris do have a decent lineup in place, a lineup that's in which quite a few good players that have joined the squad are not scarred by the last time these two sides faced off, and also players that are eager to set the record straight and go back to setting the trends that were there before, when the Pokiris have gotten the better of the Gladiators. So all that put together, along with the fact that this is a league face-off, I am casting my lot in with my brethren, the Pokiris.
Yeah, for me, I think it's the batting heavyweights, right? Who Glads are loaded with batting, Pokiris have loaded batting. I think it's all going to depend on who bowls well. I think it's going to be a big run scoring feast, or it could be a low scoring feast, depending on how the batsmen go about it. If they put their heads down and play, it's going to be a big scoring game. But if they try to overachieve, it's going to ruin what they could achieve. And one thing I like in both Gladiators and Pokiris, I think they each one of them has one of the best left-handers in DCL, according to me at least. Glads had Udit, which I still feel he's one of the best left-handers I've seen in DCL. And then Pokiris have Satish Mani. That guy too is an awesome left-hander. He plays on the offside. He scores boundaries on the offside, which is rare to see left-hander scores in DCL. So I think I'm very eager to see them to compete, and I am not sure if Udit is still in town, but it'd be wonderful to see if he's playing. But for the edge, I think I give it to Gladiators this week. I think they still will sneak it past Pokiris.
All right. I don't think there is any doubt on how the next 3 votes are going to go, but still.
I go Gladiator.
All right.
No comments on the game.
All right.
Avi, since I'm sitting 10,000 miles away, I have the ability to comment. I don't believe this is going to be a high scoring game. One reason is, yes, Glads probably on paper have the best batting unit in all of DCL. So if you had to just go on paper strength, yes. But this season, I'll be honest, I've been disappointed with the Glads batting. Yeah, in the first game, Hardeep and Ronak scored. But 2 games we have played so far, we don't practice, we don't do anything. We just come up on game day, and our guys don't even show up before 9 o'clock to even practice at least before the game starts. So we have been struggling on that game end, and I think Satya needs to correct it and ask people to come maybe 45 minutes ahead of time so that they can at least get their eye in, especially in a crucial game against Pokiris. But I don't think the batting on both sides is going to click. I think who's going to win this game is going to depend on who bowls better. That's my opinion, sitting 10,000 miles away. And if you ask me, I have a beef with all of DCL. And my beef with all of DCL is they always think that we are a batting team. What they don't understand is, or they seem to discount, is that our bowling is also pretty good. If you ask me, go and take a look at the bowling which we put against Punjab Warriors. That was top-notch bowling, all right? So we didn't give anything easy away. So even if we have only 80 to defend, if we have our best bowlers out there or reasonably best bowlers out there, we can get the job done. I do believe that Pokiris are going to find in this game that their batting is not going to be easy. I think the Glads bowlers will come to put on a show. And I do believe that bowling is going to win this game. Like Hardeep said before, I know that with this ball change and things like that, anybody can hit a six and all that stuff. But hitting a six against mediocre bowling and hitting a good bowling attack for a six are two different things. It's not the same thing. It's like batting under pressure and batting without pressure are two different things. So I do believe that this game is going to be a bowling exercise. And I do believe right now, Glad's bowling may not be the best bowling. I think Indus Thunders probably can lay the title to that, the best bowling attack. But having said that, the fact that Deepak Giriyappa has switched sides from Indus Thunders to Blasters means that that bowling has come down a notch. Maybe the Blasters bowling has gone up a notch. Are we the top bowling attack? No, I will not agree with that, but we are probably in the top five. If we are outside of five, I would like to know who are the five who are rated ahead of us. I find that difficult to believe that we are not in the top five, but I think we are in the top five for that reason. And I do believe that for Glad's one advantage is, and I said this before also, we have the ability to bat in a low scoring game as well as bat in a high scoring game. We have guys, if they get going, like Hardeep Singh got going and Udit got going in that semi-final game against Pokiris, and then it was lights out. If one of them gets going, then the game can be blown away. So we have difference makers in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I think that both teams may not have their best players or whatever it is, but I think Glads have more difference makers. Also, their bench strength, if you ask me, the Glads bench strength is probably the deepest in all of DCL. So even if we don't have our best 11, if you take the best 15 and if you take any of those four guys and put them into the 11, I don't see much of a drop-off kind of a thing. For all those reasons, I think Glads will win this game. But I think it is going to be a bowling game. I think it will be a low-scoring game. That's my personal opinion.
All right, the Glads Patriot, they are oozing with confidence in his team's abilities, and I presume Hardeep has no reason to say anything otherwise.
I abstain from voting for this game. I can answer your question because I truly believe just for this match, only you guys should vote and not me specifically, because I played with Pokiris. I mean, I am really good friends with Ravi Nirala. I used to play with him in Team Fiesta. I have on the field, off the field, have really good relationship with all the other players as well. Ravi, Vignesh, Ranjit, Venkatesh, you name them. And Avi, for example. I was coming to you because I don't want to take your name because I'm just talking to you. You are there. We meet each other. We comment each other on Facebook and all that. I read your blogs. You are one of the greatest guy who can go places. You need to find those, hidden talents.
Thank you.
That you have. But like I was saying it before as well, this is also going to be a little bit of bowling game. And on both sides, it will be 2 or 3 players who will take their team through. So from Pokiris side, it will be, Vignesh. He is one of the best player of T-ball. I played him so many times. He is one of the best all-rounder of T-ball. He changed the game from bowling and batting anytime he comes in. Then Venkatesh Prasanna is one of the other guy who changed it. And then I thought somebody was telling me that you guys added one of the guy who scored like 50, 55 runs, some Neil Kant, right? That guy looked promising. So it will be stupid to underestimate Pokiris in any front. You guys have top 5 bowlers. You guys have top 8 batsmen who can change the game. But I don't want to vote. It will be unfair. Just all these guys are voting for Glads. But eventually, from heart, I know whosoever will play with the intensity to win or more hunger to win will win the game. Both sides have equal talent. Glad has equal talent as well. We don't have our playing 11, but it is what it is. We'll come back and show it on the field, and I'll let Ranjit say some words and maybe whatever questions you guys have.
Yeah, speaking of which, we may not entirely have 11 either, isn't that so, Ranjit? You are the Pokiris representative today. I will back you up if need be, but I'm more analyst today than Pokiris. So
Thank you.
Floor is yours.
Ranjit, honestly, the only person who should be coming, probably the only neutral guy is Partha, because all the other guys have a bias one way or the other. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, even I do not want to vote in this game, but the more I like about this game, particularly Glads versus Pokiris, the intensity. I haven't seen the same intensity with any. I mean, we may not have, but from there I see it. 2014 finals, 2016 pre-quarters, 2018 semi-final. All these
Only talk
games.
about 2017, where Glad lost against Pokiris in Super Over. Was it 2017?
That is 2016, I guess. 2016, I guess. Yeah. 2016 and 2017, 2017 also, I think we met in the league game, I guess. So all these 4 games I was part of as fantastic games. It doesn't matter who win or who lose the game. At the end of the day, cricket wins. I mean, especially that Super Over game. I still remember that game. I cannot forget that game, in my life. It's one of the best game I've played. So, I mean, I'm sure everyone expects the same from Pokiris and Glads. I can definitely send a message to all the players in the tournament that this will be one of the best game for this season. I would definitely say that.
All right. So, well, Partha,
I'm going to throw some questions. Some are going.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Ranjit, this is a question for you. So, last time when you guys met, Hardeep, took you to the cleaners. I checked the scoreboard last time. He hit 7 sixes out of the park. What different are you going to do this time to keep him in check?
That's a very good question, Partha. So last time when we met Glads, right? Until 19 over, if you check the score, they were just 60 odd runs. They were in check, right? And from that, last 6-7 overs, that's where Hardeep was unleashed. So the idea is to restrict him, put pressure on him and others, and take as many wickets as possible. And that's the best we can do, right? Let's see how it goes.
Cool. So, Hardeep, this is a question which is which is come up. I've heard it a few things that Glads look very menacing on paper, but somehow over the years haven't been able to become like the megabytes of DCL. Why is that?
So I'll tell you one of the reasons that Viju already pointed out. How would I say that? I'm just gonna, because it's gonna be a wide ball answer, I would say. Any team, according to me, any team that reaches to playoff level has some level of potential to beat the other teams. Like, you cannot take playoff team for granted. So, and second part is, when you go one level ahead of it, like semis and finals, like to reach to that level, you need experience in batting, experience in bowling, experience in fieldings. How many mistakes you can cut in that particular game change the result, either in our favor or in anybody else's favor. The second most important part, according to me, is what intensity your players are showing. It will always come from within. It, for every player. You did commentary on most of the games, and you may usually mention in many of the games that all the fielding team shoulders are down. One of the top bowler of Mishika and one of the top bowler for DCL is bowling wides. Those type of things happen because of pressure. So that's where your experience comes in. So Glad, I think, has some players who knows how to handle pressure, and we are lucky to have some players who who sleep before the main game and wakes up as a totally different person, and when they are on the ground they are totally different person. And when other players see them, they're like, okay, you know what, that guy is putting a lot of effort, we should do it as well. So those type of events that happens during the game change the result eventually. So that's something that we missed against Brownstown last year. I don't want to use any other word, but we almost won the game, and rain was happening, so that was unfortunate. I wish there is some rule where we can say the game should start from the same where it stopped. But I guess everybody kind of agreed before the game that if it's rained, then we'll start a new game. So we did not came to win that game. I can tell you honestly. The one day before, I see all my players, they don't have that much energy. Like, that's one of the reason why we lost against Brownstown, because they also show like two people, Mansab and Adnan. I think those are the one who hit us, and we could not able to build a partnership because we were not in our right mind frame. We were not there. We were not playing as Glad. So I guess if all our players, regardless whosoever is in playing 11, plays as a unit, we can beat anybody. So this year, I guess our main role is, whenever we play, we talk to the players. We say, you know what, if you are here, play to win. That's it. Show your hunger to win, regardless whoever we play with. Everybody wants to beat Indus Thunder this year. They are the team to beat, but it's gonna be way far down the line where your neck is right with the sword. That if you lose, you're done. So there is no mistake, or there is no try that you can do. Okay, if it's a league game, we lose, doesn't matter, we'll see them in playoff. That's not gonna happen. So we have to prepare our players now, so that when the D-Day comes, we are ready to face the heat from those bowlers. So I guess that's something that we need to do to become. We don't want to become the megabytes, but we wanted to become the new Gladiators. We have so many records on the board which are yet to beat. So I would like to see somebody to beat them.
Yep, and I think that is where the question has come from. The batting records, the bowling records. Individually, Glads have a number of records, but hasn't been able to come to that finishing line as often as they should be. Like I took the example of Megabytes because they were the most consistent champions that I have come across in DCL. They were years over years, they completely get decimated the opposition. And I expected, as soon as as soon as you guys won in 2016 or 17, I forget the year, but 14, I expected
14 and 16.
14 and 14. 16. I expected like that kind of that momentum to continue. Just basically roll years after years of championship, but that hasn't happened. Indus Thunders obviously has come through as one of the formidable force, but hasn't been like Glads coming to the finals as often as people expect every year. So that's where the question comes from.
There is one mystery that is missing. We are also trying to figure it out. So we'll see if that mystery is resolved this year.
Cool. Hey, Ranjit, I was looking at the squad, and Pokiris have only 20 players listed, and that's like probably the thinnest squad in DCL. How do you guys? How do you?
Do we have 20s? That's interesting.
So my question is, most squads are around 20, at least 25 and above, and 30, close to 30 in that time frame, in that range. How do you guys manage with such a lean squad, and especially like people like Avi and rest of the folks playing leather ball also? Like, how do you guys manage to get 11? And why isn't the biggest squad being built?
Yeah, the reason being, we had players, but if we are not able to give enough chances, it's not really good. So what we thought is, okay, we'll bring in players who are dedicated to DCL, but also, gel with with us easily, and we have to play as a unit. Individuals cannot win matches, right? We have to play as a team. This year we brought in 3 changes: Raghu, Jayant, and we have Amit. All 3 players are fantastic players, and we feel that we can. Even in the past, even though we had like 18-20 players in the roster, some of them were not even in the country. We have always faced problems with 11s, but this year we somehow feel, even with the squad just with 15, we feel that we will definitely have 11 every game. But that's the main goal behind keeping the squad lean.
That's true, and to actually add to that point, we've participated in a tournament in the past where we also amalgamated a team with a lot of exceptional players. So, and at least in my memory, that was the only occasion where every time Pokiris stepped onto, you went into the first ball of the first game of that tournament, knowing that you are going to be champion. And we also strutted onto the field with all the arrogance befitting a team that knows it's invincible. And when I say arrogance, don't get me wrong.
Pokiris. You can use the team name.
No. It is Pokiris. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. In that particular tournament, Pokiris walked on with a certain arrogance onto the field, saying the opposition in front of us is nothing. And that's because of the stupendous star power that we had. And I see that confidence, okay, maybe I should say overbearing confidence, maybe arrogance is too strong term. But I see that in teams like Thunders or Gladiators or Brownstones in that case, or they probably don't know what fear is anyway, or what they just don't take the game that seriously. Yes. But I think what we actually enjoy, but I can tell you, we did end up winning that tournament, but a lot of us felt no joy because it almost felt like, 1, there was no competition. 2, we sometimes wondered if we actually earned it. So I would say, I think part of what makes the Pokiris stick is the fact that we are always that team that is good, but we are good enough to maybe spoil someone else's party from time to time, and we do have the potential to make it at least to the finish line. And unfortunately, we haven't crossed it all this while. But I think that's partly what makes the team tick, where we know that to an extent we are good, but we have to punch above our weight, especially when we come up against exceptional teams like Glads or Indies Thunder. So, and that forms part of our challenge as recreational cricketers, where, okay, we have lives outside this game, but the moment we do play this game for passion, and playing against guys like you gives us that extra bit to try and prove ourselves and get the best out of ourselves. And that's probably where that's why you haven't quite seen this trend of Pokiris, despite a lot of us being social, being very good friends with a whole bunch of other people throughout the league. we haven't really gone out and actively tried to try and build a stronger team, get players, merge with other teams, and so on and so forth. And I think that, and Ranjit alluded to the fact that we've probably been a bit more stringent than some of the other teams in filtering out who we think would probably match with our mindset.
Yeah, I was actually going to throw in DCL night one of these like trivia questions. What along the same lines, like what's common between the South African cricket team, England soccer team, and Pokiris?
English soccer team, I actually compare Gladiators to them, but except that
they managed to beat their curse this year.
Than the English soccer team, but they are a team of. But I think they're actually I agree. I'm sorry, I take that back because Gladiators, despite being a collection of extremely talented individuals, have also gelled together well as a team. I know I raised that question pointedly to Viju in the first episode of our show, but I have seen it myself. I think the gelling there has been better. We'll find out about England on Sunday.
But, right. That's why my question. I'm going to hold on to that question. If England doesn't win, I think I'll include them in the example. But I still, I think South
they
African
will not win, man. Italy will win.
You never know. But yes, so England soccer team, South African cricket team, they are perennial chokers. They are basically time after time they have been excellent throughout, but they have never been able to cross the line for some reason or the other. And sometimes even it wasn't in their hands. Like they were robbed of the World Cup, I feel, in '92 because of the Duckworth-Lewis system. Yeah. But coming back to it, Pokiris have been so close. 2 finals, if I'm not mistaken. 3 finals. I'm sorry, 3 finals. Many playoffs appearances, but haven't been able to cross the line. Do you think this is the year?
Like I said, the question was exactly right, Parthe. The previous years, right? Even the playoffs, we are struggling to find players, right? This year, it's not like that. Avi is dedicated to DCL. When there is a DCL game, Avi is there. Prasna is also prioritizing DCL. So, and along with the other 3 new players we brought in this year, we have pretty good combination, I feel. And we have just played 2 games. We have to play another 7 games to understand where we are and what are the strengths and what our weaknesses. Definitely, there will be a lot of weaknesses that we have wanted to address before we get into the playoffs. But I definitely feel that we can understand in the next 7 games, 8 games, and address them one by one before the pre-quarter starts.
All right. The best of luck. I wish you guys, the best of luck to make it this year. Kind of get the monkey off the back of sorts.
Thank you.
One last question I have, and then if anybody else has question, Hardeep, this is a question for you for the Glads. Time and again, I've always this is something my observation isn't something which I've heard, but Glads follow a set plan, and that set plan is basically a strategy which is decided just like any American sport like basketball, football, by the coach or some outside the game. How true is that? And what do you think? Is that true, or is are things decided on the field?
No, I think I don't know. Is it allowed to share the secrets?
No, but share what you can.
Everybody know how serious Mr. Viju is. So whosoever, if we are talking about playoff or league game, like talk about this week game, Pokiris, he might have studied in and out all the players and then explain all the ifs and buts and do's and don'ts of the other player. You keep your friend close and enemy closer kind of stuff. So that's how Viju is. So some of the times I'll tell you how it goes. All the wars that are won, credit goes to the leader, right? Because they have experience. They show the young guns, do this way and you will see the result. Okay. That's how I started it. Like I started back in what, I don't know, 16 or 15 when I played against Glads in MDCL night tournament, and then kind of beat the crap out of him. And I didn't even look at, I didn't even knew who is Viju is. And matter of fact, I'll tell you a small story. I supposed to play with my friend Praveen Bangera. He used to play with knockers at that time, and after that I said to Ravi Narla that if I don't play for Glads, but that's later on, I will play for you because you are really close to me. So it was unfortunate, or whatever you're gonna call it. I was not present that day. I had to go to Canada, and I said, Ravi bhai, I'm sorry, Praveen bhai, I'm not there. Praveen was right off my back, and I even said yes to him that I'll play. But then when I came in, and then I was like, Anup is not playing with you, and then Mr. Anup say, you know what, I'm play for Glad's team, and then I joined. Then the rest is all the
That's
history.
just
So
history.
I supposed to play for Knocker, but I ended up joining Glad. And I think nothing against Praveen Bhai or Knockers, but I think I'm glad that I get into Glads, because the amount of teaching, like the learning that I got in Glads and from DCL, I don't think I would have gotten that from playing Mishka leather ball, because you don't get that pressure opportunity. Like imagine back in 2016 and 15 and 17 time frame, you make knockers make 40 to 45 runs, and we got bowled out of 42, and we were loaded team. I
Right.
mean, imagine the amount of stress that 2018 final that we won. Imagine, like I was playing at the end. Imagine the amount of stress you have to face. All the balls that you can think, oh, I should have hit it out of the park. You played it out for single, double. So those are the type of things that I have learned from DCL. And you know what? And I even forgot your question by answering and going all the
No,
other
no,
way.
no. That's great. These anecdotes are great to hear.
So the strategy usually comes from our seniors, like all top seniors. They sit, they study, they analyze the player, and then they eventually, tell their learnings. Viju or some Viju, Satya, Taif, uh, Kishan, these 4 or 5 guys. We are lucky enough to have them. They apply on it, but eventually, if you look at it, I'm gonna go back to my same message again. Like as a leader, he can only show us the path, but it's the player responsibility to walk on it and play with intensity if you wanted to win. And that's gonna be the difference between a winning side or the losing side, regardless of whichever show light games that any teams plays against us or we plays against them. You can talk a lot about it. Oh yes, we could have done this, but eventually when the need of the hour was, you have to show that intensity. हमारे पंजाबी में एक कहावत है ना कि लड़ाई हल्ले दी. Like you have to be there loud, regardless of whatever you want to do. You have to
Right.
do that on the field. Like मैं जैसे you do keeping, you never shut up, man. You never shut up. You are always in the batsman here, right? That's one of the
Right.
strategy as well. So I used to get irritated. I was like, यार ये क्या साला? I used to, I don't want to say it, but I used to call him क्या ये सब्जी वाले की तरह हल्ला बोलता रहता है ऐसे, right? I used to try to give it back, but nothing changed. But then you learn. The more you play, you learn that when you play
Right.
against this team, you have to just take out all the noises and play. So those are kind of things. Strategy, they make it, we implement it on the field. 80% of time it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. I'm the only one who does not agree with Riju some of the times. He knows better. And I don't know if he's gonna talk about it. We don't agree to
No,
our.
I mean, again, Parthiv, to come to your question, I mean, yes, there is a lot of feedback which is given. Obviously, actually, you can go back and look at the times strikers played Glads. You go and look at the game where Glads versus Strikers was a quarterfinal game. You will notice I was the skipper there. I had already seen certain tendencies with you, and I blocked off those tendencies. I made it very difficult for you to get a single.
I know what shot you like to play, and I took that shot away from you. So what happens is, there is many people think we just show up on game day and just play. No, I don't think so. But I think if you look at GLCC or Glads or some of the other top teams, they make it a point to analyze each and every player. And now, obviously, now that I'm here, I'm not involved to the same degree, other than to broadly this thing. But I'll tell you what is the difference between us winning the 2018 final and 2019, where Hardeep said that we came in without that energy. I guarantee you, if I was there, I would be in all their faces. And just because of the fact that I'm there on all their faces, they would bring that energy level up. So I look at it as, my job is to bring that energy level up, wherein you are just pumping and raring to go. Now, obviously, we are revealing certain secrets here, but at the same time, why did Glads versus Pokiris get all 4 votes? Glads versus GLCC got all 4 votes, whereas previous weeks, it was always a 3-1 split. We didn't have a unanimous this thing. And I think going forward, there are a couple of games where you have unanimous votes. But my point is, there are certain games which capture your imagination. You mentioned about Pokiris that, 3 finals they reached. Honestly, if you ask me, that 2014 final, they had no business losing that one. They had us at 22-7. It was a superlative innings by Arjun, which took us over the hump. We lost 9 wickets, but it was again a 60-run game, 61-run game, and we scored 62, and we won the first title. But that was a title which Pokiris should have won. When you are having us 21-7, you should not be losing from there. We were chasing 61. Before the game, I was very confident we would win it, but DCL is strange, 7 wickets down. But Arjun stood there. Prasanna bowled only 1 bad ball, and that ball was deposited outside the park. And that was how close it came down to. It was the superlativeness of Arjun which won us that title. But nothing wrong which Pokiris did there. They played that very well. I think the next time Pokiris played against knockers in the finals, that was bad luck. Because honestly speaking, when you lose your best player in the form of Prasanna Venkatesh, and you just find it out on game day, very, very difficult to recover emotionally from that.
Oh, we lost the night before. I'll confess, in public.
Yeah, so you could see that before the game itself. I knew this game is done and dusted. You get my point? You could see it in their faces. I was there for the final. I could see it in their faces. I knew this game is going to be absolutely one-sided, and it was one-sided. There was no chance in that game. But when they played against Indus Thunders, I honestly felt they changed things. They had no business changing. You have a formula which is working. You don't want to change too many things. And there, I am not sure. This is where I love Ravi Narala. I have he's a good friend of mine. But sometimes I have no idea what goes through his head. And if I was in Pokiris, I would have been in his face saying, what the hell is going on? You can't make this. We are going with this. We are not changing things. And that is probably where maybe Ranjit and a few others have to step up and say, hey, Ravi, let's not overthink and overanalyze this. Let's make this thing. But that is one thing in Glads, is that once we make a decision, that is the decision, and then everybody goes along with it. We have great players like Hardeep. But if you go back and look at the 2018 semifinals, Hardeep had that superlative game, and he took the game away from Pokiris. But it was not just Hardeep. You had the left-hander Udit, who also scored a 50, and he was hitting offside sixes. All right.
Yep.
How often do you see a left-hander hitting an offside six? And he was not hitting just an average bowler. Aditya Aital, who's an excellent bowler, and many other guys, he was hitting them out of the park. So it was a double attack which was happening. And coming back to the thing, I don't think it was 60 in 19 overs. I think it was more like 75 or something like that in 19 overs.
18.
69. If you can go and check the scores with you.
69 in 16.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the thing is, from there, we scored almost another 95 runs or something like that. But that was superlative hitting, which these two guys went crazy kind of a thing. It doesn't happen often, but that is one game which we took away. But that is because, but come to the final. You and Hardeep may not like it, but I needed to just win the game. And we were just chasing 60 runs. I didn't need Hardeep's big hitting ability. What I needed from Hardeep was somebody who can handle the pressure at the end and somebody who still threatens the opposition, because as long as Hardeep is there and you know that six hitting capability is there, one ball he can change the game. I needed that fear. And most people do not realize this as to why we pushed Hardeep all the way down. But what is my goal? My goal is not to make Hardeep into a superhero here. My goal is to win the title. Who cares if Hardeep becomes MVP or not MVP or nothing? We don't care. We just want to win the title. If you don't win the title and you win the MVP, shame on you. What's the use of the MVP? And this is something which many people do not get. But in Glads, luckily we have this thing where people understand, hey, the goal is to win the game. We don't care whether you are MVP or any of those things. I remember Satya coming and asking me, who should I send next? And I very clearly said, if this person gets out, this person goes. If this person gets out, this person goes. So we had a very clear strategy. We knew one thing, they were running out of bowlers. And all we have to do is stand there for 25 overs. Yes, we took it a little closer than what we expected. We didn't expect it to go to the second last ball. But what we had is we had two guys, Muned and Hardeep there. All they need is one ball to finish the game. So it was Muned's luck that he was on strike. But we had the guys who were just staying it out and just winning the game. But that's important to understand that many times winning is more about strategy and how to use your team strengths to make that happen. But coming back to Pokiris, what makes this rivalry so exciting is they have some exceptional players. People don't talk about Vignesh, but I am telling you, he is one of the best batsmen in DCL for a long time. All right. This season is very young, but he has been consistently one of the best one-down batsmen. It's either him or Ronak, who's consistently one of the best one-down batsmen all across the league, if you ask me. So he's an exceptional player for them. He has performed game in and game out. And if you really look at it, they have added Neil and they have added Ranjit. Sorry, not Ranjit. The other Palaniswamy, Raghu Palaniswamy. Yes, who's another very good player. So he has been ideal DCL players who can stay at the wicket and not necessarily you can run through the attack kind of a thing. So they have added some very good players. What you're going to see is, yes, two top teams who are exceptional players. Whoever is going to play well is going to win the game. My gut feeling is I think the bowling is going to win the game, but that's just my gut feeling. But having said that, both sides have the pieces. I do think that they have an exceptional record, and you have to give credit to Ravi on that. Even though I question some of his decision making, and I fondly refer him to as alien brain. But let me tell you something. I mean, he made Pokiris into a powerhouse. All right. Before that, there was the first time Pokiris played Glads. We scored 219, and Pokiris was 17 all out. So we won by 202 runs. Now take that. And what happened over the years? You went to super over and we lost in a super over. So what changed? I think it is the leadership. So sometimes leaders need to examine themselves and say, you know, what am I doing to make my team better? Am I doing my homework? Well, nobody stops you from doing your homework. I mean, I could tell you every player in DCL when I was there, what their strengths and their weaknesses was, and what I should do to make sure that, you know, I need to get their wicket. There are some guys there's one guy, especially on Raptors, the moment he comes to bat, I know which bowler in Glads I am going to use. And he's not a regular bowler. I tell him, when this guy comes, you are coming into bowl. And every time he takes the wicket. Only once he didn't take the wicket, and he didn't take the wicket because the keeper didn't hold on to the catch. He gave 2 catches to the keeper, and both the catches the keeper dropped. But that's not the bowler's fault. So my point is, some things you got to understand as to what is the strengths and weaknesses, and otherwise you're not doing your job. I mean, why are you the skipper? You just the skipper on namesake, and that's what Hardeep was talking about. You know, there's a lot of intensity which goes in. That kind of intensity you do not see in many other games. But this maybe it's really intensified We go to great extents to make sure that intensity is there. I felt in 2019 in that semi-final game, I was sitting here, I just didn't see that intensity. And, when you don't have that intensity, you tend to lose games. But Glad's Pokiris, Glad's GLCC, those are two great games for somebody to come and watch and say, what can I learn from this? Because you're not going to see your average game just come on a Saturday, show up, play 4 hours and go back. No, I think it's a lot more than that.
Awesome. All right. Those are the questions I had. Anybody else have any questions for the for the guests?
I have one thing, and I actually brought in. That's why I have this. What is this? This cell phone working, and Ranjit is not going to like it, but I'm still going to do it. All right. I had this cell phone which says Calvin on it, right? Now you might be wondering who in the world is Calvin. Well, Calvin is my Rottweiler. All right. I have 2 dogs. Well, I have 3 dogs, but 2 dogs, I had it in the US. And when I moved from the US to India, I took both the dogs from the US and brought them back here. One is a German Shepherd and the other is a Rottweiler. And the German Shepherd is the alpha in the house. He's the top dog. He will not allow this guy to do anything. I mean, even if somebody comes to the gate, this guy will not allow the Rottweiler to even bark. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's like he has a monopoly on. He's the only guard dog. Everybody else has no business to even bark. So now the thing is, the Rottweiler, he all along there's a 8 months difference. So the German Shepherd is 8 months older. So all along he looks up to this German Shepherd, and he is always the top dog. And till today, it has remained the top dog. The problem with the Rottweiler is, in India, Rottweilers account for most of the deaths, at least in terms of dog bites. You see, they're ferocious, they're extremely strong, and they can finish you off in no time. The problem with my Rottweiler is, he doesn't know how strong he is. One day, the German Shepherd and the Rottweiler collided because they both went after something. And that's when the German Shepherd really understood the strength of the Rottweiler, because the moment the collision took place, the German Shepherd went rolling about 5 rolls. And yet my Rottweiler has never bitten anybody. He's the most disciplined dog. He's extremely loyal. If you go out for a walk, actually, if he sees a small dog, he will act as though he's scared of the small dog. I mean, he will walk, like kind of a thing. And I feel ashamed walking with him sometimes. But when he sees a big dog, immediately he steps in to block it off. So the moment he senses a threat, he's extremely loyal. He'll come in and jump in to neutralize it. Same thing, somebody comes at the gate. If somebody comes in, he is ready to step in to neutralize it, but only if he thinks there is a threat. When he doesn't think there is a threat, he doesn't do anything. And so what happens is that, the German Shepherd dominates this guy. This guy is a very nice guy. But the German Shepherd, he has put 6 people in the hospital. He has killed 2 cats. He is a terror in this place. I mean, so we lock the gates, and that's what it is. So today I have my Rottweiler here. And so you'll ask, why did I bring this Rottweiler story? Well, the problem I brought with the Rottweiler story is, I have Ranjit here, and I'm not doing this behind his back. I mean, I'm glad I have it on the show. Ranjit is like my Rottweiler. In fact, Ranjit is not doing anything. The guy is supremely talented. The guy, well, I mean, I have to qualify that. Some games he doesn't get batting and he doesn't get bowling. So that's not his fault that he didn't get anything to do. But I need him to produce. You get my point? And I don't feel he's producing up to his talent level, because I have seen him in the past when he was an exceptional player. But the last couple of years, he's been like my Rottweiler. He's content to let somebody else be the alpha dog, whether it be Prasanna Venkatesh or Vignesh or whoever else it is, you see. So while I have Ranjit here, not for this game, Ranjit, this game, please be the Rottweiler. But after this game, I would like to see some more production, because now, you know what? I have not done this before. Let's take a look at this Rottweiler fellow of mine, and I'm going to show this, and I'm going to do a stunt, which I have not done this before. And I'm going to see how good the Rottweilers are. Extremely aggressive, all right? This guy, when he bites a bone, he can crush it in no time. Now, I have never given him a bite, but on live television, I want to give him a bite and see what he does. I don't know what you guys, I'm going to take this thing. I'm going to give him a bite. What do you think that guy is going to do? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to get bit. I don't know, but I'm going to try this stunt anyway. But I just want to, this thing, I have an idea what he's going to do. Let's go with Satya. Satya, what do you think he's going to do? Calvin, come here. Calvin, come here.
Ask Hardeep.
Yeah.
She's
We'll
gonna
ask
enjoy it.
everybody. We'll ask even Harnoor. Well, I mean, again, we are trying to make this show interesting. Satya, what do you think he's going to do?
What are you
Dog, you gonna bite, uncle?
I'm going to give Mr. Calvin a bite. I want to bite Calvin. I'm going to bite him on his face, and I want to see what that guy does. What do you think he's going to do? I don't know what he's going to do. I've never tried this stunt, but this is a stunt. I'm trying it on live television. Yeah, so tell me, Satya, what is he going to do?
There is no 911 there. Just so you know.
There's no 911. I might get bit. All right, I don't know, but we're going to try this stunt, and I'm going to try to get this point across to Ranjit. And maybe Ravi Narala will send me a special thank you note. If he doesn't send me a special thank you note, ungrateful Ravi Narala. All right, Satya, please.
I think he's going to keep quiet.
Okay, Avi, what do you think he's going to do? Remember, he is a terror. He by nature, he's very territorial and all that stuff.
I don't think that it applies to Ranjit necessarily, but I have a feeling your dog is just going to turn around and walk away, not engage.
Okay, well, let's go to Parthiv. Parthiv, what do you think he's going to do?
He is definitely going to pounce. He's going to try to, bite back. At least going to try, because
Okay, he's going to try to bite back. Okay, yeah. But he's going to try to bite back. I mean, that's the normal reaction of a dog, especially a very aggressive dog. Mind you, this guy is aggressive, but it's just when he wants to be aggressive. That's it. All right, Ranjit, what do you think he's going to do?
He'll be calm with you.
Okay, he'll be calm. And Hardeep and Harnoor, let's get that.
Harnoor has gone up against a dog before. I know the indignance with which she stared at.
What do you think, Harnoor, is going to happen? Calvin, come here.
Uncle is saying that he's a dog. What will dog do? You don't know. I think your dog gonna start speaking, your language. He's gonna say,
all right.
Oh my
Calvin,
God,
come here.
Bruno, and now I have you two who's biting me.
Sit.
I think he's gonna bark and go back.
All right. This is
biting me now.
Oh, wow.
All right. This is Mr. Calvin. He is 125 pounds. All right.
We cannot see him.
All right. He's 125 pounds of pure muscle. Pure muscle. All right. Let me see. Are you guys able to see him?
No. We can see the other. Where is?
You can't see him? 125 pounds of pure muscle.
Yeah.
We can see him.
All right. Let's do the bite. There, I gave him a solid bite.
Looks
Nothing.
like you kissed him.
No, I'll give him a bite. Look at this.
Come on, Vijay.
Come on, here. Look at that. Oh.
Be careful, Vijay.
All right. Now, you tell me. Nothing happened, all right? Nothing happened. I knew nothing was going to happen because this guy is just too good. Ranjit, stop being the nice guy. Once the game starts, man, it is you versus everybody else. My friend, you need to put your game face on. Not for the Glads game, but after the Glads game. Let's see the real Ranjit Palaniswamy come out, all right? I am not getting production from you.
Vijay, let's be honest,
Yeah.
right? In any game, irrespective of whether it's Glads or any game, I will be, ask Avi. I will be very, very, fierce in the ground, in the game, right?
Ranjit, you know what Avi said? Ranjit has mellowed down too much. He says this is not the Ranjit I used to know. And that's my point. Man, I have seen you in Novi Cup. He was a different Ranjit. Now you're mellowed down. No, baby, you can't mellow down so much.
Interesting to know. Probably I'll see.
Okay, ask him. Okay, Avi, did you say that? Did you say that or did you not say that?
No, I can attest to, yes, I did say that. And I can attest to the fact the first time I met Ranjit, it was my first ever T-ball game, and there was this young, good-looking guy behind the stumps, and who was in great shape. And I thought, wow, he's probably a player to watch. And then the next thing I know, something happened between him and an opponent, and both of them are going. Ranjit basically flung his glove down and went hammering down left. And I was like, whoa. And the best part was Ranjit was saying something to the other guy in Tamil, the other guy was saying something back in Hindi, and I was the only person there that understood both languages.
That's happened to me a lot of times.
And then a few years later on, I ended up joining Pokiris. And then this guy comes up behind me and says, hey, you're the new guy, I'm Ranjit. And I told him, wait a minute, I know this guy from before, from somewhere. And then that vision came back from about 2 or 3 years before. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm glad I'm on this guy's side. That's good.
Yeah, honestly, Avi, that's the Ranjit I remembered. And he used to play at a very high level. I just feel that of late, his level has not been at the same level. For Pokiris' sake, and for Ravi Narala's sake, I think that it would be wonderful to have him at the same high level. But he used to be a very, very, once the game starts, he was a different beast, but he had the great capacity. Ranjit, are you injured? Let me ask you this, because
that's not the right question. Ask him, are you married?
No, I mean, I know the answer to that. But my are you injured? I mean, I don't know. Have you recovered fully from that leg injury?
Not completely.
Okay, that might be part of the problem also. I do not know. But yeah, I remembered Ranjit as a much more aggressive player, but he was also a fantastic player. So when he told me that Raghu Palaniswamy was better than him, I told him, tell that joke to somebody else. That's exactly what I told him. Tell that joke to somebody else, because I didn't believe that. I still don't fully believe that. But again, I have not seen Raghu Palaniswamy.
I still stand my point. Raghu is better than me.
Yeah, I know for public consumption, you probably have to say that. But you know what? It also depends on what other people say about you. But I'm just saying is that, yeah, I mean, I don't want to, last time I pushed Brownstone, they thrashed the crap out of us. So I don't want the same repeat here. But no, I would love to see you in the runs as well as in the wickets. So. But of course, you have to get the chances that only Mr. Ravi Narala can make it happen.
If that happens, that I'm not even wanted to play, in the batting order, I would be very happy because my role is different compared to the previous years. And we have fantastic players playing up the order, and hope it happens that way.
Yeah, I just hope it happens not in the Glads game. But that's just it. But yeah, I do think that Pokiris have some excellent players, and I think over the years both Glads and Pokiris had a lot of respect for off the field. The 4 hours. I remember I myself told Ravi Narala, do not call back a batsman if he has been given out by the umpire. I still stand by that because. Either both teams should play by the same rules, otherwise go with the umpire's call. So if you are calling back a batsman, I should also be willing to call back a batsman. Otherwise, it's not the fair thing. So I remember I remember telling to Ravi even before the game, and actually I lost because of that. Anup was not out, but was given out. You get my point? And but I still think that was the right decision. Simple as that.
Trust me, on that decision, I was the only one against asking him to play again. I was against it. I clearly said no, but all the remaining 10 made the decision, right? And all the remaining 10 saying that, yeah, we have to let him play. Then, I have to trust the team. And
absolutely. Yeah, but that is the right decision. Because here is my point. Either we have a decision discussion before the game and say that if umpire makes a mistake and if the opposition captain is convinced, you can call him back. So, but then if we are not doing that and you're doing that, I don't think it is fair. And I think it had happened in the previous game where you guys called Pradeep Botta or something like that. I still think that was wrong. You get my point? Because if Raptors are not doing the same favor to you and you are calling Pradeep Botta back, by the way, I think the skipper of the Raptors is our friend Parthiv Mehta, who was the skipper that year, right? If I'm not mistaken. And that was a close game.
I feel the other way, because we stood by that decision and we stood by the same, the feelings, right? Our thought process. We feel that we should have called Anup back when he was given the wrong decision. Even today, I stand by that.
But what I'm saying, but my point is, if Glads are not playing by the same rule, wherein if we had the same thing, if our guys are not calling it back, then it's not fair. That's my point. That's why I saw what happened to Botta, and I remember telling Ravi Narala that's a wrong decision, because if both teams are playing by the same rule, it's okay. But if both teams are not have an agreement and only you are calling back, then it's not fair. I mean, let's have an understanding that either you call back or you're not calling back, or you use simple decision. Whatever is the umpire's decision, that's the umpire's decision. I'm not changing anything, After all, it's a neutral umpire. So having said that, hopefully we'll get some good umpires.
Yes. I mean, one from strikers, I guess.
We are sending one of our good guys. So
great.
I know the importance of the games. Yeah,
I didn't know who's the other one. Actually, I didn't see the email, but regardless, I'm sure that the game would be fantastic this week.
That's pretty much it, Avi. I've said my role to this thing, but I wanted to give a shout out to Hardeep. Thanks for representing Glads, but there is a reason why we asked Hardeep to represent Glads. He's one of our most respected players, and we generally want one of our players to represent us who we think very highly of. And last time we gave the honor to Taifur because of what he does for the team. It is the same thing with Hardeep. It was one of the best things which happened to Glads when he decided to play for Glads. We always love seeing him in a Glads uniform, and he hardly ever misses a Glads game. He will do something. Even if he has to stand on his head, he will stand on his head and come and play. And I said the same thing against Punjab Warriors. I mean, they might have all the Sardars, but I felt I had the best Sardar in Detroit on the Glads team. So I felt that it was the right thing to do. So this one also, I mean, thanks for and thanks Ranjit for showing up. I really appreciate that. Of course, I was disappointed Ravi didn't show up, because I was until now I just heard that he was out of town. But if he was in town and didn't show up, I felt that he was doing a disservice to the team. But it was good that we got a just thing. It's sad that we couldn't get Parankusam on the team spotlight, but hopefully we can do it some other day.
Yep. I totally concur. So thank you very much, both of you gentlemen, Hardeep as well as Ranjit. Both very erudite people, both people that can represent their teams with aplomb, both on and off the field, and you've certainly done that here today. And we hope to see that on game day as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting us speak our way, our kind of hearts out. And to the analyst, whoever voted again to us, we'll put in a good show, and we'll make sure you got your score or points, whatever you call them, on Saturday.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Good luck to all the teams. Bye.
Thank you.
Awesome. See you guys. Good luck. Bye.
Good night. Good night.
If you haven't tuned in live, then please do watch the recording that's been put up on the Glads website. But thank you. Take care.